You to a news conference in East Cleveland, the next saga in what has been just a mess of a city government as well as police officers being charged. The current East Cleveland Mayor Brandon King, a special panel of judges had to decide if he should be suspended or not. They voted yesterday 2-1 that he should be suspended. He is facing charges from October of last year. 2 counts of theft in office, 4 counts of having unlawful interest in a public contract, 4 counts of representation by public official or employee, filing a false disclosure statement, and then soliciting improper compensation. Next in line is supposed to be the City Council President Lateef Shabazz. That's who's holding the news conference today. Let's take a listen.
For them, and we still have things planned here in the near future, and that basically is going to be all right. This is another traumatic event. We've been through things like this before. We got through them, and we'll get through them again. So without further ado, here's the council president.
Hello, how you doing today? First of all, I want you to know that East Cleveland is still and safe. There's nothing going wrong just because this mayor has been indicted and removed. But we have to, I heard that Wilma says that she's the mayor. That's ludicrous. Either she can't read or she's the worst attorney the country ever seen. The charter say that the council president will take over if it's a long-term suspension. And her legal opinion ain't worth 2 cents. She's the ones that got the mayor indicted on her legal opinion. She's the ones that got $50 million in debt, lawsuits against the city. And she filed false claims against us, me and Eric Brewer, and the judge said that it was unconstitutional. That's another lawsuit. So we don't need her nowhere near the mayor's office. And it's ludicrous for her to say that. She's saying that because I work for the Cleveland Board of Education, I'm not qualified. So she can't read. It says you can't work for East Cleveland Board of Education. So that's where we at right now. And the probate court will take care of this, and not her.
So any questions?
So it will be up to the probate court to make that decision?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so right now, who is acting?
There's none right now to the probate court, not Wilma. She don't have that authority. She don't even live in East Cleveland. And I don't even think she's been bonded. Excuse me. Any more questions?
So there is no acting mayor is what you're saying?
Not at this time until the probate court makes a decision.
Who do you expect the probate court will install?
I think I would be the president of the council.
Why do you believe that?
Because it's in our charter.
You believe this is a long-term absence, not a short-term absence?
It should be a long time.
Why is that?
Well, I mean, the city is stalled. We wasn't moving. There's so much corruption going on here. All these legal opinions, like they try to not pay council's lawyer, you know, so that kind of put us in a position we don't have nobody to represent us. Yeah, it should be long term.
What about the allegations that you're facing some criminal charges that you shouldn't be?
Oh, well, that was what they tried to put on me to ruin my reputation. But the judge, which they paid, I heard about $20,000 because no prosecutor in the county would take it. No judge would come here. So they hired a lawyer to be a prosecutor, and they hired a retired judge, and which he stood up and he did the right thing, and I want to salute him. He said it's unconstitutional, and he threw it out. So that's what they was using to prevent me from stepping up.
They're saying you have a trial coming up next month on, I think, obstructing official business and criminal mischief.
That's the trial that I was talking about, that the judge just threw it out. I got it.
Yeah, it's a misdemeanor. So
It was a misdemeanor, it was qualified, and plus it was violating our constitutional right. He threw it out.
So you don't have a trial next
No,
month?
I don't. And it was a bogus trial anyway. They just put that on me.
So you're not still facing that misdemeanor?
No.
Have you or the other council members been paid for the monies that are owed to you as council members?
No, and what they did, what they was doing was trying to keep people off council that didn't see the things that they wanted them to see. And they didn't pay me for a whole year. And they didn't pay Twan Billings for a whole year. So those type of things, you know, they doing everything to stay in power, in which they need to be out of power.
Have you had any conversations with Brandon King since the suspension notice came out?
Yes.
What was that conversation?
Well, I have a decent conversation with Brandon. I knew Brandon a long time ago, so I'm not trying to, you know, I'm not trying to throw salt in his wound.
What did you guys discuss?
Some contracts and stuff that they're working on, but we trying to get the budget together. That's what we was working on, really. So with, you know, by him being indicted, we're gonna go over all kind of contracts real carefully because, you know, we're not trying to be indicted.
Do you believe he should still have access to a city vehicle and to City Hall?
No, we should take in that, in the next council meeting, we're gonna take those privileges away from him.
Right now, he still has access.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes,
You
but
mentioned the word corruption. Can you elaborate on that a little bit more as to kind of what's been going on?
I'm not trying to prosecute anybody in the news, but it's a lot. And I see graffiti on buildings, and these buildings are targeted to be burnt down. And I'm trying to warn them. I say, you see these graffiti on these buildings are susceptible to be burnt down. And sure as matter, that's what's happening. You know.
Anything you want to say to the men and women who work here in the city, the fire department, the police department, to see what's going on?
Yes, I want them to just, well, a lot of them know our charter, so I don't know how she even declared that she's the acting mayor, because most of these employees know the charter.
What would you say to the taxpayers of East Cleveland who are wondering what's next, what's going on, is the city going to stay on its feet?
Yes, it will be. As soon as these administrators do things and they're not informing the public. The public should be running this city, not no few politicians, you know, that keeping everything a secret and you can't trust them. You know, the people should make the decision what they want, what kind of town they want to live in, and what kind of schools that they want their kids to go to.
Is that the kind of government you would run in the city?
Oh, sure. Education is more important. By me being an educator, education is where our kids are getting lost at.
But would you allow the people their say and take into account?
I'm going to insist on that part. You know, I don't sit here and say I'm going to run this city, or I want the public to come and participate and make the choice. You know, I'm not a dictator or anything. People should know what circumstances is happening. They paying them to dump over here. We don't know what's in that dump. We don't know. And it's raining, and that stuff getting into the water system. And it can affect all the Cuyahoga County, not just East Cleveland. You know, so when you see corruption and when you see politicians don't add up to them, you need to come to their aid, you know, because, you know, if they get away with it in East Cleveland, Euclid is next.
How do you restore people's faith in government here?
Well, you know, people have to restore this faith in themselves. It's in order that they have to know the government and see that they're making the right decision. You know, don't let someone come. You know, education. You know, education is more important than you know. People must be educated about government and how it's run. You know, because I've been all over this country in major cities. What's happening in East Cleveland happens in all black neighborhoods all over the country.
How will the city operate?
I beg your pardon?
I'm sorry, how will the city operate without a mayor while you're waiting for probate court?
Well, we have to have the probate court to act immediately.
And you don't know how soon that will be, right?
No, I don't. But it's got to happen real soon. Real soon.
Why is that?
Because everybody can get up and say they mayor. The finance person can say that they're supposed to be the mayor, but she's not. We never had that position. We closed that position for her. And she's assistant finance person, right? So she's unqualified. And Wilma, she don't even live in this city. And she caused $50 million worth of lawsuits against us. And she got the lawsuit, and she should be indicted with the mayor because he had her legal opinion what got him indicted. So we must be ludicrous to even think about keeping her. And she's doing this because she knew she was the first person I was going to fire.
If you are selected as mayor, acting mayor, with all the political corruption, financial crisis in East Cleveland, what are your first steps to?
Well, you know, I have to look at the books. I haven't looked at the books. He's been keeping us, you know, that's why we haven't passed a budget, because we don't know what's in the bank. So I can't ask that question intelligently until I see what situation we're in.
So even though you were on council, you have no idea what the city's spending money on?
No. That's why sometimes we didn't pass the budget. That's why the budget haven't been passed.
But how could that be when you're council president?
Well, I haven't been council president that long, and this procedure has been going on for years.
The East Cleveland Police Union is concerned that they're not going to be able to get paid this year because the budget hasn't been passed. Is there anything you can
Well, the mayor is gone. We should be up there and passing the budget, you know. I should be up there looking at the books so we can pass the budget. Is Wilma there, it won't be passed
How much time is left in the mayor's term?
to November.
So will city officials such as police officers get paid if the budget isn't passed?
We're working on it. We're working on it, make sure. We're trying to get it done before Friday.
I remember the city council voted down the use of the traffic cameras, and the mayor's office said they would remain. Is that something that's going to continue, or something the council wants to take back?
Well, that was another council, so I don't know what this council would say. That was the last council. Yeah, they took it away because they thought it was. I mean, man, you can get tickets every day. You know, I mean, some of us do, but we voted it down.
So why did firefighters and police come to work if they don't even know if they're going to get paid?
Well, we have the greatest firemen in the country. I'm gonna give them the credit. I love these guys, man. They put out fires that I know has been arson, and they do it every day. So we're gonna try to get them paid as much as possible. You know,
How long have you been council president?
maybe 2 months,
Like a month and a half.
month and a half.
Or
Yeah, you want to?
Yeah. So the government is not folding here. We're waiting on the probate court to make a decision. East Cleveland residents still have things to look forward to. One being the Circle East District project with the new neighborhood down there. That project is still going on. When the Shabazz administration takes place, he's also going to reach out to the metro parks to open those doors back up. We want the metro parks in here. Also, as far as police, he could elaborate on this. One of the first things he's doing, he's going to meet with the county sheriff and the county executive and get them in here because we need their help. We don't know why they aren't in here anymore. We've heard that they want to be in here. They don't mind coming. But we need help here. Safety is a major concern with the Shabazz administration. That's one of the first things he'll be doing once he takes office as mayor. The sheriffs will be coming in. But we have a lot to still look forward to. We don't want the residents to be down and discouraged about this. We know they've been through this time after time, but things will get better. It can't get much worse. I mean, we're at about as low as it's going to get. And I know that with under Shabazz's leadership that the city is in better hands. And as far as the law director, it's, the charter states if it's a removal or a long-term absence. If you read the opinion by the 3-judge panel and read through all the stuff, it says that this is an indefinite suspension. No judge is going to interpret it an indefinite suspension as a short-term absence. What she's relying on in the charter is when, like, the mayor's going on vacation or he's sick. Maybe he's in a hospital for a few days. Then the law director and finance director step in. We understand that. But this is a long-term absence. Cases can take years. So we believe that with the council's attorney's legal opinion and the probate judge, he will be the next mayor of East Cleveland. So, any other questions before we, what you were saying?
Sorry, just one last question, again, kind of going back to what we talked about in the beginning. It still says, according to the court docket, that you're set for jury trial on February 28th. That's still.
Who was that? Who she said?
The jury trial. Regardless of what that says, that doesn't disqualify him from being mayor. It doesn't even if he's found guilty, it doesn't disqualify him from being council president. Now, all it is I guess they're alleging that the council clerk took down a sheet of paper that the mayor posted on the wall, and that he stood there watching, and he was the lookout guy to make sure the piece of paper didn't, no one stopped the clerk from taking down a piece of paper. Those are bogus charges. They're a waste of taxpayer money that we don't have. They've already spent all this money on the prosecutor. We don't have the money. They're bringing in this judge, taxpayer money, for the clerk taking down a piece of paper and said that he aided him by being the lookout guy because he was ripping down a sheet of paper. So they're bogus charges, and they don't disqualify him. So we shouldn't make a big deal about, oh, he's under investigation. Those charges are nothing, and they won't stop anything.
The judge rules that our constitutional rights was violated, so he wasn't going forward with that. They probably continue to go forward with it, but if
They brung it
they don't
back
have
up.
any evidence because he wiped out any evidence, so
Yeah.
they go to court with no evidence.
And their star witness is an indicted mayor. That's their star witness. Brandon King is the complainant on it, and he's the star witness. An indicted mayor is their only witness to the case, and Willa Hemmons. So good luck at convincing the jury that he's dirty because he saw someone take down a sheet of paper off the wall. So please we don't want to get messy and get the public distracted in, oh, well, he may not be able to go up because he has this case. This is a minor misdemeanor, and that is just going to add more discouragement to the public's ears, and we're trying to avoid that. That's why we called you out here, to let you know that our government is going to be in good hands once the probate court makes the decision. It is not folding, and to calm the residents down, because we're getting a ton of calls about this. So please, please do not make that an issue about that case, because it's unconstitutional. All the evidence has been suppressed if you read the judge's ruling. So even the video that they say the clerk took down the paper, it's suppressed. She's doing this as a political move to try to stop him from being the mayor. That's why she just refiled the charge probably within the last 24 hours, because the judge suppressed all the evidence and threw it out. So any more questions you got for him, then we could get out of here.
Yes, and that will be dealt with harshly. We're going to extremely prosecute her for this.
She has, what he means by that, she has dereliction of duty. There's a lot of things she has a duty to do that she hasn't done, and he's going to appoint a special prosecutor to look into her dereliction of her duties. And she got us in over $100 million in debt. It is terrifying to hear that Willa Hemmons can step into the mayor's office for 1 minute. That is the most terrifying thing that I've ever had to do. It's more terrifying than the mayor being indicted.
Isn't it true that Willa Hemmons is a contract law director and not employed based on what our charter outlines?
Yeah, our charter also says you must be a full-time employee and a resident of East Cleveland to be the mayor. She lives in Beechwood. She has a beautiful home out there, a beautiful community. She lives out there, and she's not a resident. So there's two areas where she's in conflict at. Even if that section she's going by was true, she's not a resident. And you can't just have non-residents even filling in as mayor. You know, that's why in most cities the law director is a resident for times like this. And she could go out to Beechwood and try to be the mayor, but we don't want her to as acting mayor here, not for 1 minute.
Justin, I'm sorry, like I said, it's kind of hard to keep up. Can you please tell me the people who are on council, because on the website it still says Twan Dillon is council president, just a lot of...
Yeah, a lot has unfolded recently, and Councilman Lateef Shabazz is the council president. Councilman Timothy Austin, who was just in here, is the council vice president. Councilor Patricia Blahoviak is a councilor at large. Councilor Terry Richardson is councilor in Ward 4. And I think that's all 5 of them. Yeah. So those are the council people. Now, the website and those things, it's been political games, and they just haven't updated the website. But Mr. Billings was removed as council president almost 2 months ago. So,
Why was he removed?
well, there was a lot of phone calls from residents and people calling saying that they I guess they didn't want him to be the mayor, and they felt more confident in Councilman Shabazz going up to be the mayor. But council works fairly good together, believe it or not. It's not like everybody, they make it seem like they're all at war. The council as a body, for the most part, works together well and get along. So we just don't want to, get in those areas and try to scare the public because they're already going through a lot.
Any more questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Dan DeRosa with 19 News as they wrap up this news conference in East Cleveland, and hopefully you were able to follow really what has been just a debacle for a number of years. We can't count the number of mayors, police officers, police chiefs that have been indicted. Some have been convicted. Some are in jail already for the different incidents in the city of East Cleveland. Now you have a 3-judge panel saying that the most recent mayor to be indicted, Brandon King, that he needs to be suspended. You have the council president, who's only been council president for 2 months because they had to remove the other council president. He is saying that he will be the interim or the next mayor to step up, but you have the law director, Willa Hemmons, who says no, according to the charter, she should be the next mayor of East Cleveland. You heard them throw out accusations saying that that is ludicrous. The one gentleman said that that scares him immensely to think that she could even be mayor of East Cleveland for 1 minute, that she doesn't live in East Cleveland, that she lives in Beechwood, and that alone disqualifies her. Wow. Wow is the only word I can say. There is a lot going on in East Cleveland, and they're trying to get out in front of this and tell the residents not to be worried and that it should be business as usual in the city of East Cleveland. We'll have more on this on our 3.5 hours of news and first alert weather when we start at 3 o'clock on Channel 19. Until then, I'm Dan DeRosa with 19 News. Have a good afternoon.
19 News is everywhere. Download our CTV apps and follow us on social media.